Crazy things happen in sports that include beating each other up for money. Whether it's boxing or mixed martial arts, there's usually some sort of madness going down. Even during weigh-ins, we see wild brawls and heated stare-downs, but sometimes, even the coldest and strongest fighters are involved in a little humor. Today, we are looking at 10 of MMA and boxing's funniest moments. Number 1 reveals why many fighters join this gruesome sport, and it's absolutely hilarious, so watch out for that. Let's begin. Number 10. Joe Rogan. UFC commentator Joe Rogan has the best seat in the house for all major UFC events. This isn't just on fight night either, as the popular MMA fighter is also always front and center for major UFC weigh-in events. The best seat means the best view. He's been criticized repeatedly and gone viral just as often for taking peeks at the UFC female fighters' butts. For Joe, it's just too hard to resist, and has been caught several times checking out the female fighters. When he was caught staring at Miesha Tate, who has been a victim of staring quite a few times, she didn't miss this opportunity to take a quick stab at the commentator. She didn't humiliate him though, she just made fun of his tweet and called it a night. He was also caught staring at Jessica Ai's butt, who also called him out after the fight by jokingly saying, "I don't know why you can stare at my butt, but never have me on your podcast." Number 9. The famous shirt. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Tito Ortiz and UFC president Dana White have cultivated quite the feud over the years. Dana White initially acted as a manager to the fighter until White dropped him to become president of the UFC. For 15 years, the two men have been warring in a feud. It once got really bad when Tito walked on stage for a weigh-in during the UFC 84. As he removed his first top, he was seen wearing a shirt that showed a very indecent message towards the UFC president. He took his time to take that shirt off, and to his luck, White wasn't even on the stage. Otherwise, he would have started a fight this time instead of breaking one. Number 8. Pervy Cop. We are used to crazy things happening during weigh-in days. Whether it's boxing or mixed martial arts, there's usually some sort of madness about to go down. Usually, we see wild brawls and heated stare-downs, and sometimes things are caught on camera that isn't meant to be there. And these are the moments that make truly great viewing. For instance, the now infamous pervy Miesha Tate cop, who went viral after being caught on film sneaking a look at Miesha Tate. It was during weigh-in for UFC 196 when the police officer was on stage with Tate and UFC officials and just couldn't help sneaking a peek at Tate while she put her pants back on. It was just a quick glance, but not sly enough to escape the notice of the internet. It went full circle when Miss Tate tracked down the cop and remade the whole scenario once again, but with the roles reversed, as this time it was Miesha Tate checking out the cop's butt. Her sense of humor is unmatched. Number 7. Mid-fight dancing. This is another MMA fail worthy of our list. Just like in any other sport, combat sport athletes at all levels make an incredibly high number of questionable decisions, even in a high-risk form of competition like mixed martial arts. Athletes' judgment is often imperfect. At the British Challenge MMA 18, featherweight Joe Hardy was apparently feeling very good vibes. He couldn't help busting out some dance moves in the middle of the fight. Shockingly, Hardy's showboarding did not go as it was planned by him. Hardy was so engrossed in flaunting his moves that he stepped back from the opponent, Joe Sega, and did a little arm weight dance. During the dance, his eyes weren't even on the fight anymore. It didn't take Hardy long to realize that he should have been looking elsewhere. Sega's foot quickly connected with his jaw, making him look like and drop like a sack of potatoes. Then again, it might have taken long for Hardy to figure out his mistake because the man got shook and astounded. Number 6. The classic throwback. Uppercuts are danger punches for tall boxers against shorter opponents, but that's not meant to apply to the man mountain who's throwing it. Tyson Fury was gunning for a knockout in his 4th pro fight. As Lee Swaby backed to the ropes, Fury loaded up and launched a titanic uppercut which sailed past Swaby but completed its arc and caught Fury right between the eyes, snapping his head back. To prove the power of the punch, Fury briefly reeled backwards, stunned by his own blow. It was the boxing equivalent of an own goal, but presumably funnier and far more painful. Number 5. Presidential Prank. Let's go back and finally remember one of the funniest UFC moments of all time. Ahead of their bout at UFC 187 in Las Vegas, Anthony "Rumble" Johnson and John Jones were in a mischievous mood at the Welcome to the Event show back in 2015, and the unsuspecting Dana White, UFC's president, was the main target. John Jones and Daniel Cormier's press conference in the summer of 2014 ended in a brawl at the MGM Grand Hotel, and White thought that the light heavyweight champion was up to the same antics again. Both fighters had discussed previously to prank the UFC president as they went head to head. Jones put his forehead on Johnson's and he pushed him backward. Just check out Dana's face trying to break up the fighters. It's completely priceless. This is what the audience needs before the fights. Pranks. Number 4. Woman in Awe. We have already shown you people checking fighters, but it's not always men who get caught staring in awe at the fighter's perfect body. A video that was widely shared on the internet showed a number of UFC fighters, including Sage Northcutt, weighing in on the official UFC scales. Watch as the female employee in the background gets an eyeful of every man. She just can't help herself. She even gets busted by John Anik, but continues her antics unhindered. We are yet to learn the identity of this mystery woman, but one thing is for sure, she can't keep those prying eyes under control. But can we really blame her? What's the point of risking your life in rings like the way these guys do if they can't attract women, right? Number 3. Bouquet of Flowers. Inside the octagon, MMA fighter Sean "The Real OC" O'Connell has amassed many wins. Outside of the ring, the 31-year-old from Salt Lake City has collected thousands of laughs thanks to his pre-fight antics. O'Connell is the MMA's funny man thanks to how he conducts himself during the weigh-in, the last opportunity for fighters to see each other before fighting. During a weigh-in night, O'Connell and Ilir Latifi engaged in perhaps the least intimidating stare-down in MMA history. O'Connell, who was an absolute master of the weigh-in gag, stepped up his comedy game yet again by handing the powerful Swede a bouquet of flowers during the obligatory face-off. That isn't the first time he did something like that. O'Connell has wrapped arms with opponents to share a drink, played a friendly game of rock, paper, scissors, and taken a selfie. However, if you thought that this would be a sign that the fight would also be a friendly affair, you would be completely wrong, as Latifi floored his opponent with the tsunami of a haymaker just 30 seconds into their bout at UFC Boston. That's absolutely no way to treat a man who gives you a bouquet of flowers. Number 2. Dance-off. As you already know, sometimes weigh-ins and press conferences for boxing or MMA matches dissolve into madness. But in the case of Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Waterson, a UFC weigh-in became the site of a dance-off, and it was pretty great. The former Dancing with the Stars runner-up, Paige Van Zandt, combined her love of dance with her love of fighting when she and her opponent went for their face-off before the fight. Van Zandt's challenger, Michelle Waterson, looked a bit uncomfortable with the dance-off at first, but after some encouragement from her opponent, she not only got in on the action but appeared to win when she pulled out the sprinkler as her finishing move. Such a lighthearted face-off wasn't expected between the two, but it's also not too surprising. Van Zandt, after all, isn't known as a trash talker, but that didn't mean the fight was peaceful and light. They did try to almost kill each other in the ring, but hey, at least they had some breakdance time. Number 1. Woman's Man. Prize fighters have their respective reasons why they choose to be in the profession they are in. For UFC featherweight fighter Teruto Ishihara, it is all about the women. According to the fighter himself, the 24-year-old fighter from Osaka, Japan, only got into fighting to attract good-looking girls from around the world. The weigh-in at a UFC Fight Night Japan was no exception. Right before he stepped on the scales, Ishihara threw a short but sweet flirty wave at Filipino octagon girl Red De La Cruz. The girl seemed pleased with it too. After winning a fight, in a post-match interview he said, "As long as I can KO someone and get girls, I'll do it all day." A bold statement, sir. Which one of these moments did you think were the funniest? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.